Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight-talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real-life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
Morning, everyone. How about that intro? I love it each and every Wednesday. If you haven't met me before, Cash Shostet here representing the Property Management Group for the 6-star team here at Positive Collective. I'll tell you what, bit of exciting stuff happening this morning, bit of an announcement, quick shout out. Team, give me a shout out in the chat. But if you have heard of the Property Summit, and if you haven't, I'll give you a quick rundown. The Property Summit this year, guys, on the Gold Coast, 13th to the 15th of June. If you are interested, you want to know, you want to learn, you want to discover all things about creating wealth through property, there's a range of awesome speakers lined up for the 13th to 15th of June. Jason will be there, Andy Fenton, Sam Saggers, and the crew, the 6-star team. Reserve your tickets. There'll be a link in the chat in a moment. Team, and just FYI, that link is for the general public. If you're part of the 6-star team, you're part of the Positive Collective group, please reach out to your coach and they will sort you out for June. I'm going to play a quick video and then we're going to get on to Wealth Coffee Chats.
All right, this is going to be fun. Who has played the property game before? Who has been in the game? Who's never played the property game before? Oh, you're in for a treat. Who likes Monopoly? Did anyone like Monopoly when they were a kid? Well, this is Monopoly in real life in this room. Every hour or so, you guys are going to be up and you're going to be running around the room like maniacs trying to play the property game and win the property game.
Today, I wanted to share the lessons, the mistakes, and the wins.
I want everybody to put up their hands who knows their interest rates on all their loans right now.
If you haven't seen me around before, like 13 years in the industry, in property management specifically.
Who likes paying tax? If you need help finding somewhere to donate, I'm sure I can find somewhere else where it can go.
We've got an expression in that, let's go and make new mistakes in the world. Who wants to make new mistakes?
These are just strategic moves that can make such a big difference.
So obviously buy well, never sell. Definitely the majority of what everyone's looking to do is collect some A-grade assets, B-grade assets, whatever it might be.
I loved the idea of being a property investor and developing that identity.
Collectively, they have way more years experience in everything that you think you're trying to solve. Because they do it every single day.
How about that, team? Property Summit mid-June. Get on it. There'll be some links in the chat. But welcome along. Property Management Wealth Coffee Chats here for a Wednesday morning, 9th of April, 10 past 8. Quarter past 8, I think we are now. But we'll get on with the team this morning. Team Property Management. Guess what? This morning, rental application changes to Queensland. Here's what you need to know. Yes, there's another change coming. Yes, this is part of stage 2 rental reforms coming into play from the 1st of May. And so I want to get ahead of this and show you guys where the RTA are up to with this. And you wouldn't be surprised, I wouldn't think. Have they finalised it 3 weeks out from the changes? No, they have not. Shock. But there you go. That's what they do. They're pretty slow when it comes to this sort of stuff, team. So just to give you guys a bit of some context, I should say, into stage 2 rental reforms, if you don't already know. Specifically today, I just want to unpack the rental application changes and what that means for you. So specifically, how prospective tenants will need to apply and what that means in regards to your property manager. If there's any DIY landlords out there, what you can and cannot ask moving forward when it comes to rental applications. So the RTA, the RTRA, I should say, Act was reviewed and part of those stage 2 rental reforms. If you guys might remember, there was a push a few years ago from the Labor government when it comes to a better deal for renters. And this is just part of those rental reforms coming through. And so the RTRA Act review basically was pushing for greater privacy, greater fairness, and greater transparency when it came to all things tenancy management. And so that throws up some curveballs from time to time. And, us as property managers, we need to know what's going on, when it's going on, and what the processes are in place. So if you haven't met me before, like I said from the start, Cash Shoss is my name, 14 years in the industry going on, and part of your 6-star team. And so part of my role is to help you guys navigate these sort of things, and compliance, legislation. It's ever changing in property management, as I'm sure you guys would know. So in short, the changes to rental applications team, it's going to limit what information can be requested, right, from your property manager. Or if you're a self-managing owner, then you definitely need to listen to this, right? So like I say, limiting what information you can ask. The questions on the rental application form are now going to be regulated from the 1st of May. I'm going to show you a draft in regards to what that looks like. Okay, so essentially this Form 22 that the RTA are bringing out, it's a prescribed form. Essentially, it's to make things fairer. Interestingly, they say this is going to protect privacy, but I'm going to show you why I think that's rubbish in a moment. Maybe a loophole I found potentially. So there's less discretion on what you as the owner and myself as the property manager can ask and request from prospective tenants. It prohibits discrimination, which is already a thing, so shouldn't be going down that path anyway, and more focus on facts and figures, right? Rent to income ratios, which is something we've been talking about for a long time here at Wealth Coffee Chats. And so when you are screening your prospective tenants, it must stay relevant, it must stay factual, and non-discriminatory in that sort of thing. So so a few of the early birds are on as well. Kevin, good evening, or good morning from me. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining on as always. So if you're in the chat team, give us a bit of a shout out. If you've heard about the rental reforms and you're across it, punch that in the chat for me. If you're not sure what's going on, that's okay. We're going to run through it very shortly. Now, I had a bit of tech troubles this morning. Let's see if this works, team. Hopefully you guys can see that on your screen. Maybe just put a yes in the chat. You can see on your screen, stage 2 rental reforms, rental application changes for QLD. So what does that mean? Like I say, National Cabinet's push a few years ago for a better deal for renters is something I'm not necessarily against or anything like that. Things like the minimum standards, banning rent bidding, rent increases once a year, I think it's all fair and equal. But when it comes to sort of some of these things, it's you scratch your head, right? And so more than six, so this was a quote from the housing minister at the time, Megan Scanlon, and more than 600,000 Queensland households rent, right? So let me get this pen out. So it's a lot of Queenslanders in this sort of form. And so like I say, it was about making it fairer, safer, easier. That was what their idea was. That's what they wanted from these changes. And so renters are likely to have privacy protected. There'll be a new code of conduct and essentially stamp out any dodgy, unprofessional practices. And so sometimes I think, the 1 or 2% of the people out there ruin it for everyone else necessarily. And so, when these sorts of things go along, team, their idea was that it was going to support cost of living, and we were going to obviously help things where, increasing rents once a year, things like that. Like I say, I don't think the annual rent increase has had an effect in a negative way or is anything like that, but you go along. And so here is the current draft for what the application Form 22 is going to look like as prescribed via the RTA. Now you may have, your property managers may have different softwares, platforms that tinker with and process and hold application forms. That's okay. A lot of those software platforms are going to adjust, and they're going to take this prescribed form and put it into their process. That's what the good property management groups will do. I'm not too sure what the other 1-2% of the state are going to do, but essentially, what's really here to highlight normal things like address of the property, how many occupants. Now, anything under here, any children necessarily, we cannot no longer ask for any specific details in relation to that if the tenant does not want to provide that information. Now, what's interesting enough with these rental applications, up to 3 tenants can complete the one application. So remember before I mentioned the government's push for protecting privacy. Here's a thought. If you had 3 roommates, so 3 individuals, and in the past, they would fill out one application per person, right? Today's world, as per this form, is what we're seeking clarity on, is up to 3 tenants can fill out the same form. They can go on this form, they can submit, I think I've skipped it, team. I think I've skipped it. Here it is. So they can they can enter here, length of employment, their weekly income, and in my opinion, that's not protecting privacy if it's a roommate situation, right? Maybe different if it's a family, but you can see where we're going with this. So, has it been thought about into the future what this form actually practically looks like for prospective renters? You'll see here in the financial information, we've always adjudicated and assessed applications on a 30% income to rent ratio. Now, obviously on Wealth Coffee Chats, we talk about maybe that income to rent ratio needs to be adjusted given the current environment. But in here, it just says, can you provide documents verifying your ability to pay rent? Yes or no. Right, it gives the prospective renter some of the things here that they may provide in that space. And so, it's interesting how that might come through. Pet details. Here's an interesting one. So part of the rental reforms was, an owner cannot undeniably or unreasonably deny a pet. Yet in here, we're going to ask for all this information anyway, right? We're going to ask for it anyway. We're going to get a photo of the pet. We're going to ask for the pet's age. We're going to ask for the temperament of and the training qualifications of the dog. Did you take your dog to puppy school potentially, right? Some of this information is more detailed than it was in the past, but essentially, like the reforms say, landlord cannot undeniably or unreasonably deny the pet anyway. So, bit interesting one there, team, but it's just some more things for us to process as property managers. Verification of identity, the interesting thing here to know, team, and again, for you DIY landlords at home, the prospective tenant in this section here, obviously when it comes to verifying your identity, providing a copy of your, let's say, driver's license for that information. Now, it says, I give consent to provide copies of my original identity to the provider, or I elect them to view, keyword, view my original identities. And therefore, potentially, as it says here, provider cannot keep a copy of your rental documentation, right? So does that change the process? It certainly is an interesting one. It's giving... I guess, yeah, it's going to change a few people's processes, I guess is my point, team. For us, what we need to do here is to make sure that professional screening of rental applications is super, super important, number one. Excuse the light coming in. How good's that sun, team? Coming straight in off out of my window. Not sure if you see that on your screen. But yeah, from the 1st of May, professional screening is super, super critical, right? There's going to be a prescribed form in Queensland that all property management groups and DIY landlords are going to need to follow. It's going to limit what you can and can't ask. So what you are needing to find out will be regulated, team. It's important to know that property management groups, landlords that don't follow this process, there are penalty points in play that the RTA will happily hand out. So we don't want to do that. In my opinion, do I think this is a good thing? I actually think this will slow down the process. I actually think it's making it harder for the prospective renters. I think it's going to take longer for property management groups to process the application, given the nature of the form. We'll wait to see. 1st of May, the final form hasn't been released yet, but we'll see if they're actually taken on any feedback and made any changes. I'd say no. That's just my opinion. But the question you need to ask yourself, team, moving forward in 2025 for your selection of tenancies here in Queensland, I would dare say other states are going to move into this. So keep aware of these things if you own property in other states outside Queensland, because I dare say there will be an equal playing field. The question you're going to ask yourselves here today is, would I feel confident defending my decision if challenged? Okay, so we want to make sure you're protected. Keep the good tenants, not at the risk of your investment property or your journey. Stay sharp, stay compliant, have a good property manager. If your property manager hasn't made you aware of this at the moment, then maybe that's a red flag. But team, me to you, that's that in a short, condensed version. Of course, as always, if you're looking for some more detail around that, of course, you can always flick me an email, ask me a question in there below, comment below. I'll get back to you. And as we go along, we need to just continue adjusting. So, team, that's it. Wealth Coffee Chats. That flew by. Tell you what, as I said from the top, reminder: Gold Coast, 13th to 15th of June, Property Summit. If you haven't heard about it, tell you what, check it out. As I say, there's some great speakers there, hosted by the one and only Jason Witten. There'll be some other amazing speakers inside and outside the Positive Collective team. So, team, I'm going to leave it there for your Wednesday. You have an amazing day, amazing week. I'll see you back, property management, next week, 8:10. In the meantime, let's drop that Property Summit video again. Thanks, team.
All right, this is going to be fun. Who has played the property game before? Who has been in the game? Who's never played the property game before? Oh, you're in for a treat. Who likes Monopoly? Did anyone like Monopoly when they were a kid? Well, this is Monopoly in real life in this room. Every hour or so, you guys are going to be up and you're going to be running around the room like maniacs trying to play the property game and win the property game.
Today, I wanted to share the lessons, the mistakes, and the wins.
I want everybody to put up their hands who knows their interest rates on all their loans right now.
If you haven't seen me around before, like 13 years in the industry, in property management specifically.
Who likes paying tax? If you need help finding somewhere to donate, I'm sure I can find somewhere else where it can go.
No, we've got an expression in that, let's go and make new mistakes in the world. Who wants to make new mistakes?
These are just strategic moves that can make such a big difference.
So obviously buy well, never sell. Definitely the majority of what everyone's looking to do is collect some A-grade assets, B-grade assets, whatever it might be.
I loved the idea of being a property investor and developing that identity.
Collectively, they have way more years' experience in everything that you think you're trying to solve, because they do it every single day.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6 Star team here at positivementor.com.au.